Welcome to the Picturing Footscray Photography Prize 2020 announcement. Tonight we'll be announcing the winners of the first, second, third and student prizes. But before we begin, Karen Jackson from Victoria University's Moondani Balluk will conduct an acknowledgement of country.
Welcome to Picturing Footscray. I'm here to provide an acknowledgement of country. For those who don't know me, I'm KJ, Karen Jackson, the Director of the Moondani Balluk Indigenous Academic Unit at Victoria University. My genealogy tracks back to Moira Lakes in Barmah Forest and Mount Hope in Pyramid Hill, giving me my connections to Yorta Yorta and Barapparap language groups. There's a couple of things I'd like you to take away from my acknowledgement. The first is to remember the hidden history of Aboriginal peoples since invasion, our loss of language, removal from country, and our near extinction from massacres and pandemics. The second is our strong and inherent connection to community and country. These connections have given us resilience and courage to rebuild our languages, gain access to country, and regenerate our cultural practices. In the same way, Footscray is a place where many people have created connections with each other, with families, and in building strong and resilient communities. The photos that have become part of this exhibition, Picturing Footscray, are testament to this. These connections in the Footscray community are an important space from which to survive any difficult days, including our current lockdown, and from which to grow, share, and learn from each other, and to think about how we might maintain our genuine and kind actions in our communities into the future. In acknowledging the traditional owners of the country on which you are now on, I'd like to sincerely thank them for their generosity and kindness in welcoming people onto their lands, lands never ceded, and lands that run deep into their being and spirit. I wish to pay my deep respect to the ancestors, elders, communities and families of the Boonwurrung and Woiwurrung on whose land I stand, and who create connection and share knowledge with us all as the traditional owners of land. Thank you.
I've been looking so long at these pictures of you that I almost believe that they're real.
Lockdown, you know.
I've been living so long with my pictures of you that I almost believe that the pictures are all I can feel.
Strike a pose.
Shake it, ah, like a Polaroid. Shake it, ah, like a
Girls on film. Girls on film. I'm your greatest fan. I'll follow you until you love me. Paparazzi.
Flash! Ah!
First, let me take a selfie.
Welcome to Picturing Footscray! I am Miss Friby, the extraordinarily talented, fabulously charming, extremely good-looking host for this very special online edition of the only open access photography prize that celebrates Melbourne's inner west suburb of Footscray. Ah, Footscray. Sweet, sweet Footscray. Where else is on-road bicycling considered an extreme sport? Where else can you order a fur instead of a pee-ho and engage in inter-stranger debate with a cultural bias? It's a wild melding pot of eclectic cultures, culture vultures and senior citizens. We call ourselves Footscrazy. We're so humble like that. That's what makes us superior. Many people love Footscray, and the people that don't love Footscray are just saying that to keep the rent prices down in Footscray. Now let's cut to the stats. Over the last 5 years, Picturing Footscray has received 995 entries. 158 are competing in 2020 alone. However, seeing as my Bali holiday nudes don't qualify, they were very artistic, by the way, we have 151 people competing for prizes tonight. While many of these people live locally in Footscray, 59 of the entrants are visitors to the area, with 70% of our entrants competing for the very first time. On a side note, my first time was also online, but it was nowhere near as glamorous as this. And now, for the moment you have all been waiting for, our contestants will go head-to-head Roman style with a brutal, bloody fight until death. And go! Take it away! Okay, I'll start! Let me at him! Guys, where are the contestants with the fighting? No. What? Guys, we talked about this. We needed to, pick up the drama to meet the trauma bar of 2020. Okay, I'll announce the judges, though I dare say that a fight to death is better television, but who am I to argue, It's not like I've got a job to go to after this. Now, I love to judge people, but this year that task has been placed in the very capable hands of Megan Evans, 2019 Footscray Art Prize recipient, internationally and nationally exhibiting artist across the realms of video, sculpture, photography, and of course, installation. And of course, Cameron Cope, who is a travel and editorial photographer, teacher, fine art printer, and on standby waiting to tell you all about it.
Hi, my name is Cameron Cope. I'm a photographer and an artist, and it was a great privilege to judge the Picturing Footscray Award in 2020 alongside the artist Megan Evans. This year's competition received over 150 entries that explored Footscray from a whole spectrum of angles, and they really reflected the community and its heritage, as well as this very particular moment that we find ourselves in history. We saw many of Footscray's streets and architectural icons represented, and alongside those were interior moments from private lives in lockdown and isolation. We also saw an unassuming pre-COVID imagery emerge through a new lens, that of loss and nostalgia. And there were images that also communicated beautifully the sort of newfound strange emptiness of our public spaces. There were also lots of pictures that made us laugh, and they reminded us of both the irreverence and the inclusivity of Footscray, and they provided lots of hope for the future too.
What? What money? Oh, no. No, I wasn't going to steal it. I was just keeping it safe. We are in a state of disaster after all. And I was actually going to put it away and line it up nicely for the people at home. And while I do that, I suppose now is as good a time as any to talk about our sponsors. It's such a difficult time for small businesses around. We are very grateful and appreciative to this year's sponsors, Ernest Studio in Yarraville and Prison Imaging in North Melbourne. Without their support, we would not be able to have all of these bucks for the first prize of $3,000 and second prize of $1,000. For all of your printing and imaging needs, contact Ernest Studio in Yarraville and Prison Imaging in North Melbourne. We also have our student prize category worth $500, sponsored by Victoria University's Library Services. This prize category is about to be announced by Naomi Dempsey. Let's hit it, Naomi.
This year, we received 37 student entries, and I am delighted that 13 of those are from BU students. This is a great effort given the significant disruption of COVID-19 to life and to studies. We acknowledge that it takes motivation and drive to think creatively and submit a place-based entry into a photography prize, particularly for students who do not live in Melbourne's West. BU has successfully transitioned to digitally supported remote learning, and we're proud of our students for their continued engagement in extracurricular activity during this challenging time. We remind all of our students that this pandemic is a moment in time, and please stay connected, be kind to each other, and we hope you can fully explore and photograph Footscray in 2021 for next year's event. The winner of the Picturing Footscray 2020 student category is Becky Bletchenden, with her photograph, Awaiting Welcome. This vibrant photograph captures a Footscray landmark in golden afternoon light. A soft drink and chairs appear abandoned, echoing the feeling in our streets right now during this pandemic. We are pleased that students from across Melbourne participate in this prize. It showcases VU as an exciting community-oriented university that has industry connections and unique opportunities for students. We look forward to seeing you next year. Congratulations, Becky.
This is a tightly composed vignette of a Footscray icon, the Saigon Welcome March, and it speaks to both the city's Vietnamese heritage and the paradox of public space amid the pandemic. The urban signage in the scene has been carefully obscured, and it leaves an arch inscription of "Lest we forget" as the only legible text. These words are invoked outside of their typical usage in the Australian lexicon, and thus relocate this very particular act of remembrance to an alternate cultural space, or perhaps even a different time. The photographer has also demonstrated visual literacy through an astute sensitivity to light and the use of a colour palette that recalls the work of Fred Herzog and William Eggleston. So well done, Becky.
And what a photo, Becky. There's so much to learn from life, isn't there? That I, as chair of the Fake Tan for 5-year-olds committee, can sometimes sit in a chair. LMNOP is not one letter. It's actually 5 letters that go together very quickly in the song. And that to compete with each other, we will only ever become bitter. But compete with ourselves, and we become better, which is in fact bitter in New Zealand. And while those wise words ruminate, let's go to the moment you've all been waiting for, where Cameron is on standby to announce the winners of the first, second and third prize in this year's Picturing Footscray competition!
Okay, time for the winners. Both Megan and I would like to congratulate all of the artists who submitted works, and in Megan's words, for being creative in challenging times. To all the winners, well done. We hope you are all encouraged to create more and to never let the circumstances stop you from creating work. The third prize goes to Narinda Cook with her image Footscray Antifa post-lockdown. It's an image that challenges the viewer to unpick associations between cultural markers, identity, fashion and politics. It presents the paradox of a left-wing group appropriating the military dress associated with the far right. And it speaks to the constructed nature of identity and the experimentation of youth. From a photographic standpoint, it sits within an observational documentary tradition and successfully captures an arrangement of decisive moments. The photograph also demonstrates an unexpected social license on the part of a parent, allowing the viewer a glimpse behind the scenes of a subculture more typically depicted with their guard up in acts of public activism. Yeah. So congratulations, Narinda. The second prize goes to Jodie Haynes with her image Self-Portrait 2020. I'll quote my fellow judge Megan's comments. She said it's a powerful portrait that speaks of these times of isolation and COVID. While in general many of the photographs address this, most of them were very raw responses. And she felt that this image was considered, and the use of the mask being in the image, but below the face, and the t-shirt, which clearly placed the image in Footscray. It is a strong and defiant response to the virus. It also shows the article of capture, which is the remote in the hand, which tells of a practice which has been reduced to isolation, but also of an artist who is not going to be stopped by isolation. The look is direct and engaging and doesn't allow the viewer to look away. So congratulations. And finally, the first prize goes to Ben Dowling with his image Paisley Street. Like many successful street photographs, Ben's may not be what it seems, and it raises more questions than it does answers. Is it blackface or a beauty treatment we see in the window of the salon? Is the mother in the scene pondering the same question while her child ponders the photographer? It's a puzzle that sparks the imagination in the spirit of a Matt Stewart or a Jesse Marlowe, and it speaks to both the global Black Lives Matter movement and the cultural juxtapositions of everyday local Footscray.
Now, for those of you at home re-evaluating every single life decision you've ever made because you did not win, we have great news for you. There is still one more prize to be won worth 500 big smackaroonies. The coveted People's Choice Award. That's right, folks, it's a popularity contest. Are you cool? We don't know. You'll find out on the 16th of September. It's like that saying, Goddeth giveth and Goddeth taketh awayeth. We here at Picturing Footscray are willing to giveth, even when first, second and third has been taketh awayeth. Taketh it awayeth. Taketh it away. Taketh it away. Taketh it. So gather the troops, get them voting at the link on the screen, and we'll see you on September 16th when we announce online the winner of the People's Choice Award. Well, I'm about to sign out and do some sinful behaviours, but before I do, let me thank the Picturing Footscray sponsors, Victoria University's Library Services, Ernest Studio in Yarraville, and Prism Imaging in North Melbourne, and of course you, those that watched and those that entered. A huge congratulations to our winners. I'm signing out. Don't forget, before I do, to tune in on the 16th of September where we announce the winner of the People's Choice Award. Until then, misbehave, be brave, and stay safe.